Happy game day, Minnesota Vikings fans. The Vikings will host the Pittsburgh Steelers on primetime, wearing primetime purple, this Thursday on Thursday Night Football, tonight. The 6-5-1 Steelers, 7:20 Central Time. Game will be on Fox and also on Prime Video. Vikings are 3.5-point favorites in this matchup, which coming off of a loss against the Steelers, 3.5-point favorites is pretty generous for the for Vegas to give that to us. But as a whole, Vikings are the better team than the Steelers. We have a lot of our players coming back. Obviously, we were without 7 of our 22 starters last week against the Lions. Now having these players coming back and getting a home game, which is very, very, very crucial when it comes to where the Vikings are sitting at their spot in the division right now. Vikings need this win badly, and this is a needed win on prime time again. And Vikings are without some of their starters, but it's not as bad as it was last week. Taking a look into the Vikings Wednesday injury report, the Vikings pretty much final injury report. We know who's going to play and who's not going to play as it is game day right now. Adam Thielen, as expected, was ruled out with an ankle injury, went down during the first series of the Lions game. Christian Darrisaw also ruled out. This is a huge loss. Again, he didn't play last week against the Lions and will not play this week as well with an ankle injury. Hopefully we don't see Oli Udoh start at left tackle. Hopefully we see Rashad Hill start there instead. Dalvin Cook, this is very surprising. Dalvin Cook was expected to miss 2 to 6 weeks going forward with the NFL and with the Minnesota Vikings team. He only missed the game against the Lions. He's already back at practice. Dalvin Cook, limited participant during Wednesday's practice with a shoulder injury. Blake Lynch, also another limited participant with a hip injury. Blake Lynch, huge last game against the Detroit Lions. Now we obviously have Barr back, so we won't get as much play time. But again, Blake Lynch is a great player to have on your team. But Dalvin Cook being limited is massive because Dalvin Cook obviously is like the core player in this Vikings offense, of course. But again, just seeing him as a limited participant, even if he doesn't play in this matchup, that means going forward, we're going to see Dalvin Cook come back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And this is good news for Vikings fans. This is great news for Vikings fans. And great news for my fantasy team as well, because I don't want to go against Alexander Madison, who's with the top guy. But as a whole, this is great news for the Minnesota Vikings to have Dalvin Cook come back. Now, I understand Alexander Madison has done a great job. But like I said, if Dalvin Cook doesn't play in this game, which it's a game time decision, they'll make the decision probably a few hours before the game. Alexander Madison can definitely take that starting role, and this will really test what he's capable of. Because we've seen Alexander Madison, did I say Dalvin Cook? We've seen how Alexander Madison can play so far this season. He's had 3 games started so far this season. All games had over 100 scrimmage yards. Those 3 games were against the Detroit Lions, and the Seattle Seahawks. Now he's going up against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. This would be huge. We really need to see what Alexander Madison is capable of, what Kene Nwangwu can do, and what A.J. Rose, hopefully, I mean, he's not going to play. I wish he was activated. I don't know why he's still on a practice squad. But if he does come out, I mean, he won't in this game, but going forward, I would like to see some A.J. Rose action. But this is great news to see that Dalvin Cook has already returned to practice, only missing 1 game on an ankle injury. Or a shoulder injury, sorry. We thought he was going to be out the rest of the season and be back for a late season playoff push for the Vikings. But taking a look into the Steelers' notable injuries, Steelers are without 3 of their starters in this game. Joe Hayden was ruled out with a foot injury. Joe Hayden, obviously one of the best corners in football. Without him, they have Cam Sutton, who will be starting at corner and going up against Justin Jefferson. They're going to need a double, triple team Jefferson, and Jefferson's still going to total over 100 yards if you triple team him. So without Joe Hayden, this is a huge loss for that Steelers defense, especially going up against a great passing defense like the Minnesota Vikings have. Isaiah Buggs, their starting nose tackle, was ruled out with an ankle injury. One of their core players against the run hasn't had a great season so far, but again, they're going to have their backup come out there. So Vikings run game is going to be open against that Steelers defense up the middle. BJ Finney, obviously great left guard, was ruled out with a back injury as well in this game. So we kind of have a good idea of the injuries that we'll be going into. That Joe Hayden injury is massive because even if Joe Hayden's out there, he can't go one-on-one against Jefferson. But seeing Cam Sutton, if they go man-to-man on Jefferson, one-on-one, Jefferson is lighting up the field as he did the last couple games. I mean, without Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen, you'd expect that, especially with them without Joe Hayden, assuming Dalvin Cook doesn't play, you would expect them to at least double team Jefferson, right? I feel like even if you double team Jefferson, he's still totaling almost 200 yards in this game, as long as the Vikings know how to run their offense. And that brings me on to my next thing, because first of all, a lot of our starters are going to come back, and I have to mention that here. Anthony Barr will be back. That'll be great. Eric Kendricks was the game changer decision against the Detroit Lions, we would have won if we have Eric Hendricks out there. Patrick Peterson will be back. So 3 core starters on our defense. Cam Bynum also will be back as well. So those are 4 of our starters on defense that will be back in this game and can really help us, especially going up against that Steelers offense, who might not be the best in the NFL, but we make every offense look like the best in the NFL. So having those players come back will be huge. But if the Vikings want to win this game, Vikings are one of the best offenses in football. We are the youngest offense in football, and we are top 5. That's why when I say rebuilding, we don't really have to rebuild this offense because we're all young guys. The youngest offense in football, and we are top 5 in the NFL right now. Why? Because we have Justin Jefferson on our team. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings look great when they target Justin Jefferson. How can they win in this game revolving around the pass? You have to be an aggressive offense. You have to take shots down the field all game long, especially when you're going up against that Steelers defense. Now, the Steelers defense, I know they have some of the great playmakers or players in the NFL. Obviously, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Minkus Fitzpatrick. Like, they have some stars, some big name players. But as a whole, you look at their team, they just like the Minnesota Vikings, where they have stars in their defense, they also have holes. And that's the reason why, so far this season, the Steelers are 26th in yards allowed and 21st in points allowed. So Vikings should have a field day on offense. Despite the fact that they have an excellent pass rusher with Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. I mean, future Hall of Famer, and TJ Watt is also making a case for himself as a future Hall of Famer. So those are 2 great pass rushers, and you know that they're going to be in Kirk Cousins' face all game. But the thing is it comes down to just being an aggressive offense. You have to revolve around the pass. I don't care if Dalvin Cook is out there. I don't care if Alexander Madison is out there. I don't care if the run defense might not be top 10 in the NFL. You want to revolve around the pass. Why? Because it doesn't matter what defense you play. You look the best when you take shots down the field. I'm not talking about 3rd and short or 3rd and long and you do a 2-yard pass to Tyler Conklin. I want to see you revolve around Justin Jefferson, obviously, as your center point of this offense, but also use some other playmakers. I mean, you don't have to give it to Tyler Conklin 10 times in this game. I love Conklin. He has a huge catch radius. He's one of the best red zone threats on our team, but he can't make plays after the catch. And as a tight end, that's crucial to be able to make plays after the catch because you're going to be getting 2-yard catches that you're going to have to turn into a first down. It's fine if you do this play, if you experiment on first down. When it's 3rd down, just stop giving it to Tyler Conklin. It's not that hard. You have to throw beyond the sticks to KJ Osborne, beyond the sticks to Justin Jefferson. These are the 2 players I want to see be the center point, be the focal point of this Vikings offense. Even if Dalvin Cook is back, you have to be an aggressive offense if you want to continue to win games. Now, when it comes down to that, it's not just being an aggressive offense. It's how Kirk is going to perform under pressure. Because one thing about Kirk Cousins, he's an accurate passer. I get that. His stats don't lie. He's very accurate. I believe I can't remember it right now. I think does he have 30 touchdowns yet? 30 passing touchdown on just 3 interceptions or something like that? That is a 10 touchdown to interception ratio. He's a very accurate passer. He's top 5 right now, I believe, in the NFL in passing yards as well. I'm going to have to check this, but I believe he is top 5 in passing yards as well. So his stats don't lie. Kirk Cousins has been having a career year so far with the season, this season with the Minnesota Vikings. Problem is, how is he going to perform under pressure? Is he going to take sacks? Is he going to throw the ball away? Is he going to force it into double coverage? Or is he going to be able to make plays with his legs and with his arms? Is he going to be able to move outside the pocket to buy himself enough time to thread that ball into Justin Jefferson's hand? That's what it comes down to. Because he's going to be rushed all game long. We don't have Christian Darrisaw starting at left tackle. Who are they going to start at left tackle? Rashad Hill, Oli Udoh. I mean, it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, whoever they start at left tackle, they're not going to be able to protect for Kirk Cousins when they're going up against TJ Watt if he lines up on that side. TJ Watt lines up on both sides, or Cam Hayward, wherever he was going to be. They're going to be in Kirk Cousins' face all game long. And Kirk Cousins, it's going to come down to him. He's going to have to be the MVP. They're going to have to put the ball into his hands if the Vikings want to win this game. Because it really comes down to how he can perform under pressure. Because we've seen what he's been able to do. Even last game or week 1 or previous games, we've seen him be able to use his legs. Problem is his decision making where he can run for an easy first down or force the ball into double coverage, he typically chooses the worst option, and that is forcing the ball into double coverage. If you remember 2 weeks ago in the 2-point conversion, Kirk Cousins could have took 3 extra steps and ran in for the 2-point conversion. Instead, he grounded the ball to Justin Jefferson. Just a terrible play. I mean, that was one of the reasons why the Vikings lost 2 weeks ago. But as a whole, Vikings, if they are aggressive offense, if Kirk can perform under pressure, then the Vikings offense will be scoring at least 30 points in this game. And it is just that simple, because that is our potential as an offense. With or without Dalvin Cook, we are a great offense. Alexander Madison, so far, I'm assuming that he's able to hold his own. I'm assuming that he's able to do the job. This is really going to test him, like I said, how it's the Steelers defense, and a lot different than playing the Detroit Lions twice and the Steelers, and the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks is what I mean to say here. A complete different game when you're going up against that 3-4 of a defense. Their linebacker group is amazing as well. They also have a great safety duo with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds. So they have a lot of star players on their defense. It really just comes down to the holes in their defense where the run game is available. The run game is available on first down, on 3rd and short. I'm fine with the Vikings running the ball. I'm saying you have to be a pass-first team. You have to be a pass-heavy team and an aggressive offense if the Vikings want to win this game. Now, on the other side of the ball, when you're looking at the defense, you have to blitz. You have to. It's the reason why the Vikings did not beat the Detroit Lions was because they didn't blitz in the final drive of the game, which was stupid because you're going up against Jared Goff. Now, if you're ranking quarterbacks about worst quarterbacks under pressure, Jared Goff is probably number 1. Who's number 2? Ben Roethlisberger. You are playing 2 terrible quarterbacks when pressured. The Vikings defensive line cannot get to the quarterback anymore. We're without Danielle Hunter. We're without Everson Griffin. We don't have Stephen Weatherly on our team anymore. We can't get to the quarterback off of the edge anymore. Of the middle, it's very hard as well. I mean, these are big defensive linemen who have to power through the guys if they want to close the pocket inside on Ben Roethlisberger. But what I'm looking at here, Vikings have to blitz because I don't have faith in these defensive ends. DJ Wanham has done a decent job, but I don't have faith in this Patrick Jones guy or Kenny Willekes or whoever is playing alongside DJ Wanham. He needs help. Wanham needs help rushing Ben Roethlisberger. Who do you have in your team? Anthony Barr, Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks, Nick Vigil. I don't care who it is. Xavier Woods. Blitz this player. Mackenzie Alexander. Blitz them and get to Ben Roethlisberger. Apply pressure on the quarterback because that's your number 1 job as a defense is just pressure Ben Roethlisberger, because what quarterback makes mistakes the most under pressure? Probably Jared Goff first, who you played last week and you didn't blitz, but then it's Ben Roethlisberger. And that's why the Vikings should blitz him all game long, especially with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks back, who have been great blitzers so far this season. I mean, Anthony Barr has not been utilized properly, but Eric Kendricks, I believe he has 4 sacks so far this season, which is incredible, especially as a middle linebacker, to be able to use him that much against the pass. So that's really it. The 3 key factors on why the Vikings should win this game: aggressive offense, Kirk under pressure, and blitzing. If you do all 3 of those things properly, Vikings are taking home this win, and it's going to feel so good. People will forget about they won't forget about the Detroit Lions loss. That still pains me, but the Detroit Lions loss will be overshadowed by the fact that on prime time, lights are on, everybody's watching, Vikings can look good. In those 3 simple spots, being an aggressive offense, because that's when our offense looks the best, is targeting Justin Jefferson on 20-yard gains, blitzing Ben Roethlisberger, and of course, last but not least, Kirk Cousins, how he can perform under pressure, because especially without Christian Darrisaw, it's going to be brutal. We saw how that offensive line looked last week. Charles Harris was putting Kirk all over the field. It was just painful to watch that game. Charles Harris, I'm very happy for him, though. I'm very happy obviously with the Miami Dolphins is reviving his career with the Detroit Lions right now, which Detroit is usually where careers go to die, but Charles Harris has changed that narrative a little bit right now. The bold prediction of the week: KJ Osborne will have a career-high receptions and receiving yards. Now, is this a bold prediction? Yeah, I think it is. Why? Because last week when Adam Thielen went down, Vikings didn't target KJ Osborne very often. What I'm saying here is KJ Osborne's got to get 10 targets at least and over 100 yards receiving for him to get this bold prediction. So that is a bold prediction. And last week you saw when Adam Thielen went down, the Vikings tried to utilize Tyler Conklin more into the offense, giving him a lot more play time. And I don't hate the decision. I'm a huge Tyler Conklin fan. I love him, especially coming out of the 5th round, due for a new contract after the season. I like Tyler Conklin on our offense. But if you want to win games, you don't third and long run 2-yard passes to Tyler Conklin. A check down to Tyler Conklin and expect him to somehow get 8 yards after the catch when he's Tyler Conklin. So as a whole, KJ Osborne, very versatile receiver, runs excellent routes and amazing with his hands. He comes down with the best balls. I mean, just an excellent player to have on your team, KJ Osborne. I want to see him more utilized into this Vikings offense with Adam Thielen out and with expecting that Dalvin Cook is out. Now, I'm surprised that he's even questionable right now and not already ruled out. I love to see that happen. Expecting that Dalvin Cook will miss today's game. I want to see KJ Osborne utilized more into that offense, and Adam Thielen, obviously, also at down, should be coming back in a couple weeks. But KJ Osborne, career high receiving receptions and career high receiving yards. Final prediction: Minnesota Vikings will win another close game. It either we lose close games or we win close games. There is no in between. It will come down to the final play once again. Minnesota Vikings will win this game 30-23 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 7-point win. Every game so far this season by the Minnesota Vikings have been decided by one score, and I expect that trend to continue in this game on primetime. Vikings win 30-23 against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football. Let me know what y'all think.